Now that we're in the studio, we can take a closer look at what I did. And we'll start off with the scale. Really, really happy how this stabilized spalted maple turned out. Shout out to Realize Woodz. But beautiful stuff. And it's always hard to get that chatoyancy effect on camera, but I'll do my best for you guys. Just really, really cool effect. And I just can't get enough of this stuff. And as you guys saw in the customization part of the video, this thing there was a lot of milling involved underneath. So quite a bit of homework to put into the computer. But here's the original. And as you guys can see, it's basically an internal washer in the material itself. So it's raised up just a little bit and everything else is flat. So I basically just copied that, and what I did was I did the layout of all this milling here and located the buttonhole and then the internal washer. Basically I had to do some measurements, but after I did all this, I brought down the material of the G10 that I added for strength against the wood, but I took it down to the thickness that it needed to be so that the internal washer would be raised exactly where it needed to be. So a lot of time was just involved in doing this correctly, because if anything was off on this, then this thing wouldn't work. So really, really happy that it was a success. The turnout was great, and the beveling was surprisingly easy, so didn't really have to fight too much on that. So again, happy with the results. And then one thing I noticed with the aluminum side was there were a lot of snail trails. So I just asked the customer if I could stone wash it. Definitely don't have to worry about snail trails anymore. But really love that weathered, beat up kind of look. And I also did it because I wanted it to match the stone washed or etched and stone washed blade. So I think it looks really, really good. All I did with this is I just re-stone washed it to, again, match the aluminum scale side. I also redid the top because the customer wanted a scallop texture to get rid of that rock pattern texture. He just wanted this over the rock pattern texture. Really happy with the result. And you guys can see it shifts and dances in the light. Definitely goes with the chatoyancy of the stabilized wood here. But that's oiled up. Everything's oiled up, even the aluminum side. But one thing I noticed from this assembly is this pivot pin is, it's pressed in there. It's not coming out. So I wanted to finish the pivot pin and bring back a perfect satin finish. As you guys can see, it's a little bit scratched. And that wasn't due to the stone wash that I did on the whole thing. I actually taped this to not make it worse, but I did go ahead and match that finish on the pivot screw. So I gave it a perfect satin finish, and then I lightly touched it up with my T8 bit to, again, match the other side. I also added that satin finish to the body screws. So again, just a little detail touch to the hardware, but nothing too crazy. But let's put this thing together and see what it looks like. Here we are, all assembled. I'm really, really pleased with it. And I'm going to try to get that chatoyancy for you guys on camera. There we go. Really, really pretty stuff. And outside in the sunlight, this thing really dances. And one thing that I really like about the black mother of pearl inlay on that button is that the color of it matches the wood itself. You do get that rainbow effect from the mother of pearl, But in certain lights, you have that tan brown color that goes with the scale, which I think goes perfectly with it. And again, that's the satin finish on the hardware. Definitely gives it a little bit more attention. One thing I want to mention before we go a little further in this knife is I did get a little chip back here on the body screw. I'm not happy about it, but I think I'll be able to fix it. But it was due to the fact that it's so thin back here. You can see how the original, very, very thin. My card is a little bit stronger than wood. I thought it was going to be okay, but this was just due to the fact that I got it so thin that it just broke out. But I will be able to fix that. But other than that, that's the only issue. But I am really, really happy about one thing, and that is this thing works. It still works. I was very skeptical about my work of the internal milling, especially with flatness, since I know my CNC isn't perfectly flat, but the fact that this thing works and it fires out like a ProTech, this thing, as you can see, it's got a nice thwack to it, just like originally it did before I did anything to it. So the fact that it works perfectly, very, very happy about that. The milling that I did with my ball nose bit on the CNC to get that nice groove around the button turned out really, really well. So you can push the button down with the tip of your thumb to fire it out. And the opening is just large enough to get the bottom section of your jointed part of your thumb. I don't even know what that's called, but you can push down on it and it'll fire out. But one thing is you can graze over this and it won't fire the blade out unless you intentionally push on that button. And I did give it a fresh, aggressive cutting edge, so very sharp. And this is in Magna Cut, so great steel. But there is that scallop texture. I think it looks really, really good. And it feels great on your thumb. I did soften the edges with 1000 grit, so it's not going to cut into your thumb, but it feels really, really good. As always, let me know down below what you guys think, how this thing turned out. Always appreciate you guys' input. But here it is opened up. And again, that chatoyancy is just really, really addictive. And just overall love this knife, even before I customized it. I think it's a great knife, and I definitely need one in my collection. But again, action works great. And even that's addicting. It's just firing this blade out. Just an awesome thwack. I hope the customer is happy. Again, just need to fix that little chip in the back. But other than that, this ProTech collaboration with Vero Knives Synapse is all finished. Could not be more pleased with it. And as always, you guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support. And I will see you guys on the next one.